Of course, because there was some interference with Brian Pillman, Ric's going to demand a rematch, and that goes down on October 2nd on Nitro. Ric would pick up a win here by DQ, and once again, Brian Pillman interferes. So there's a solution to that, and that's sort of an old school one. The following week, there's going to be a cage match. So on October 9th, it's you and Ric Flair inside of a steel cage. Did you know, the story all along was we're going to do like a trilogy of matches, or in this more modern Nitro era, are you writing things sort of on the fly? Or did you know the storyline before you ever got to Fall Brawl? We're going to do 3 matches. Last one's going to be in a steel cage. Then we're going to do the mixed tag at Halloween Havoc, and we're off to the races.
Well, I think, probably Eric and Kevin and Ric even maybe had some ideas in their head. I wasn't privy to everything that everybody was thinking, but I think they were probably, in those days, we would see how something got over. You did have a week then to figure out what the next piece was. Okay, did that get over? Now what do we do the third week? And, with live television, you have that option of changing it, going to the ring. It's whatever works, whatever helps your story. I wasn't real clear on where we were going to go. We were just kind of feeling it out and seeing what got over and what didn't.
Let's talk a little bit about, the cage match that happens on Nitro. You get another win. This makes 2 wins over Ric for you. His 1 win is by DQ. Was Ric adamant that since he was sort of the tippy-top guy that he helped, quote-unquote, put you over here? Or how do you remember, these finishes being discussed? Or was there even a discussion?
I'm sure he was on board with it because Ric, more than anybody else, knew that the one thing that has always been true in this business is you got to get one guy over. And when that guy is truly over, he can reach down and grab a guy that's below him on the ladder and pull him up a rung or 2. And Ric knew by putting me over, no matter what the circumstances, not once, but twice, would just, if we were going to get back together anyway, would just make me a more viable entity going forward, a bigger star, if that's the right terminology, at least a better opponent for whoever it may be going forward, to be able to say that I beat Ric Flair twice. And he was certainly on board. He knew that, this is a win. Over however many times he was champion at the time, which is huge. The fact of the matter is, it just helped my career at that point, and I owe him a debt of gratitude for that.
Tell me about your nerves going into match 2 and 3. You've told us, how crazy it was to the point that you threw up on your way to the ring at Fall Brawl. But the Nitro audience is much bigger than the pay-per-view audience. Certainly in that era, pay-per-view was a big deal. It was presented as a big deal, but certainly more eyeballs on Nitro. I got to wonder, does this get better or worse when now you're going to win again, and this time you're going to do it in front of many more people, and it's inside of a steel cage?
Winning or losing for a guy, that has never won a match, which would be me, is not that big a concern. It only is when it is career altering or angle altering or giving your company a slight edge in the momentum for the war that you're in that particular night. If in fact you are in a war at that point, it's all relative. Here's the fact. If this were all 100% legitimate, Haku would be the world champion, and he would have no challengers. To this day, he would be the world champion, and there would be an empty locker room because nobody would challenge him. So it wasn't the winning or losing, wasn't anything about that. It was just, how's this going to help our story? How's this going to help us moving ahead? And I tell you, I'd lost all of my nerves by that point. It was just getting, you could be partners with a guy, 2,000 times. And that might have been the case at this point. Who knows? But there's a big difference. And now you're on the other side of the ball and you're wrestling him. It's totally, totally different. It's a different animal altogether.
Well, of course, on the